All right. First off, the only guy we're rolling out this week is Bernhard Raimann.
What do things stand with Tyquan? Does he have a chance?
Yeah, we're still going through the discussions, but it looked good this week.
Okay.
You guys signed Mark Lewinsky
Yeah.
to practice squad. You guys do a lot of stuff with practice squad. That one feels, a veteran guy. What do you guys think he can bring?
Depth, add depth, and compete. So we brought him back.
So what do you think of just their safety tandem over there in Detroit?
It's impressive. They're really good players. Brandt's a hell of a player. So they have a knack for finding the football for sure. Both those guys. They're playing at a high level. Their whole defense is playing at a high level. So we got to be aware of where those guys are at, along with the rest of them.
They turned it over 5 times against Houston and still came back to win. Is there any lesson in that game specifically you can apply to this week?
Yeah, I think, for them, obviously turning the ball over 5 times and still finding a way to win, obviously it shows the fight that they have from their perspective. So it doesn't matter, you got to keep finishing, keep fighting through every game for 4 quarters. That's the lesson for sure.
Shane, what's it like to have a week where we don't ask you about the starting quarterback?
It's nice. It's nice. We're excited. It was a good week, though. Great week of preparation by everybody. Guys are feeling good. It'll be great to be back home at Lucas Oil.
How can Anthony take ownership of that job? After I guess
You just asked the
question.
Who's starting?
True, right.
I was done. No more quarterback questions.
I guess growing into that job is really taking ownership of it. What does that look like in your mind when I say that?
I think it's the growth every day, from the meetings to the practice, the leadership, all those different things that go into being the franchise quarterback. And like we talked about, the strides that he's made the last 4 weeks have been phenomenal. He had a hell of a week of preparation, locked in, ready to roll. So it's exciting.
Is Aaron Glenn's defense a lot like DA's? That's where he came from.
There's some similarities to it for sure, but obviously he's put his own flavor on it. Again, he's got those guys playing hard and at a high level. He's doing a hell of a job, so a lot of respect for what he's doing over there.
What goes into being a good sneak team? You guys haven't been a big QB sneak team at all?
I think there's a lot of things. I think there's a time and a place for it. I think you got to look at what you're going against defensively too, how they're playing the fronts in those short yardage situations. But you always look for opportunities for those if they're there.
With Bernhard, it seems like it's still week to week, or
Yeah, week to week, but progressing well.
Are there any advantages to a late bye week or 30?
It's a good question. I never know if I've been a part of one this late, but we're pretty healthy right now for the most part. And then again, you get a late bye, and then you get a little more fresh, for the late run there in December. So I think there's some advantages to it, so we'll see.
what's been your impression of Sam Ellinger? I talked to AR about
Yeah.
it. He said he's been very helpful.
Sam's been phenomenal. He's the ultimate pro. Since I got here first day, I kind of saw it right away, the way he works and prepares and goes about his business. Ultimate teammate, helps anywhere he can. Obviously goes out, competes his tail off at his position, but he's a big help for everybody for sure.
What kind of character do you have to have when you do that and you're not sure if you're going to play?
Character has got to be at an all-time high, and that's what he has. I've been really impressed within the last 2 years, that I've been here. Like I said, just phenomenal teammate, does everything the right way.
Could we see AD start to increase his snap counts?
Yeah, we'll see. You got, obviously if you're in 11 personnel, you got 3, you rotate those guys in, find spots for them, find ways to get those guys the ball, all those guys. But yeah, he's progressing well. He's making that jump for sure.
I guess you kind of have to be intentional about it because they have those existing roles.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You're
way?
intentional about things and targets and who you want to get the ball to. Like we've always talked about, the coverage might not, go to that guy. You got to check it down or do whatever. But everyone's got targets up every week for sure.
When you're deciding on 11 personnel versus 12 and stuff like that, is it getting hard to take Josh Downs off the field just with how consistent he's been?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. He has been very consistent. I think you go into every game plan, looking at what they're doing defensively, schematically. What we think is going to give us the best option, whether it's 11, 12, all those different personnel groups. But yeah, obviously we go through that every week and try to make sure we get those guys in.
Gus has had
Couple more.
some games over his time here where he's developed 1 week game plans for really good offenses like Kansas City in 22, you guys in 22 with Philly, and then Baltimore last year. Like, what about his bank of experience maybe allows him to get to some of that stuff?
Yeah, I think it's impressive. The way he's adjusted throughout the season against different opponents has been really impressive. You know, our defense is playing at a high level right now, and they do a good job looking at the opponent and scheming it up these last, 6 weeks it's been. And so looking forward to, this Sunday against Detroit for
You
sure.
play quarterback. When you see 73% completion percentage for a quarterback like Jared Goff, how impressive is that? Just from, I guess, being in that position.
Yeah, it's impressive. I think if you look around the league, the completion percentages went up over the years. I think back in the day, it was just kind of like, hey, if you can get to 65, it's pretty good. And now, guys are completing 68, 70. He's at 73. He's playing the best football of his career right now. So hats off to him. The way he sees it. Obviously, he's got that bank of knowledge going into whatever he is in year 8, 9. I'm not sure what year he is, but got a lot of respect for him and what he's been able to do there in Detroit and the way they've built that. He's playing really good football.
How do you view completion percentage as a coach? I mean, we talk about it all the time with quarterbacks.
I think completion percentage to me is, as you look at it, it's more of, hey, the higher completion percentage there is, that means the sticks continue to move. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to mean you're getting the bomb shot. That definitely helps the explosives, no doubt about it. But I think when it's not there and you're finding the check downs and getting those completions, that just means the sticks are moving and you're not in these second and long situations being efficient, throwing the football that way.
Are you more concerned completion percentage or yards per attempt?
Gosh, it's hard to answer that because the yards per attempt I think are big. They really are. I really don't have a great answer for you on that one. I think completion percentage helps, but those yards per attempt, I think when you look at the end of the game, if you look at statistics, the best statistic is winning the football game. So it might be the yards per attempt that game, and maybe we have games where the yards per attempt are down, but the completion percentage high, and we had found a way to win the football game. So I think it's both and, Chap. I really do.
Detroit's has some wild offensive numbers. Has anything really stood out to you this week in particular, just scanning over that?
Yeah, it's been impressive what they've been able to do this year for sure. I think they're on track to be one of the most prolific offenses that we've seen in the last decade. I think it starts with the quarterback. A lot of respect too for the coordinator Ben Johnson, what he's doing to put those guys in position. The receivers, like I said on Wednesday, legit. 2 running backs legit. Offensive line's legit. Tight ends legit. So they got a lot of weapons. But they're playing at a high level and they're executing. You know what I mean? There's one thing to go out there, but they're executing at a high level. They're all on the same plays, and I think that's a credit to those guys. They've been playing together for a little bit. You know what I mean? Being on the same page. So it'll be a hell of a challenge for us on Sunday.
Gus, compared to Kansas City, you were with the Chargers in 18.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs were like number 2 all time in scoring.
Yeah.
Do you see the similarities, I guess, quarterback to different options?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you look at these explosive offenses, there are some similarities. The flavor might be a little different in how they play, but there are some similarities. Anytime you're playing explosive offense, right, you got to eliminate the explosives and try to find a way to affect the quarterback.